Yesterday, I remembered two dreams in pretty good detail. The detail with a D. One of them was I was in like the army, and I was marching with the other army dudes in line, and we were marching into a training boot camp type of thing. And while we were marching in there, the enemy army was also marching into the same boot camp to train with us. I don't know why we were training in the same boot camp. Um, and the enemy army had like one of those old school army uniforms, like from the Revolution, where they're basically like a colored suit instead of camouflage, and their color was white. So they were dressed in white uniforms, and they were marching like normal marching, and we wanted to kind of outdo them, so we were jogging instead. So we started jogging into the boot camp, and we started to climb what looked like a playground that you would see in a park, but it was like an obstacle course. And there were ropes to climb it and stuff, and there were things that you had to climb over and stuff. And ahead of me in the line was this guy that I knew from school, and he was getting tired, and so he was kind of lagging behind a little bit. And instead of doing the whole obstacle course, he kind of skipped a few parts where he was really falling behind to keep the line going, and because he was freaking tired. And I'm not crazy. There was a little floating thing. You know how sometimes you see little floating particles when there's sunlight, and my alarm started going off, but I'll turn that off later. Anyways, so he was getting tired and stuff, and kind of slacking, kind of cutting corners during the training, and the drill instructor, blah, blah, the drill instructor noticed, and he told him, "You think you're gonna survive in the army or in combat like that?" And but he said it more, aggressively, like drill sergeants do. And so he's yelling at him and stuff, and he just walks away from the training, and he just walks away, which you can't really do in the army. I think they call that defecting or something, desertion. But he did it in the dream. Second dream that I remember from the night before last night. Shit, I had it, but I forgot it. But that's why I have notes. Right, right, right. So this one involves uh, two characters from the show Friends. Uh, you probably have heard of the show Friends. At least it's a real good show. So Joey is laying on a bed in a hotel room, and he's on the phone with Chandler, and he's asking Chandler for some advice. And I don't remember what it was about, but Chandler gives him the advice, and he likes the advice. He's like, "Yeah, I like that." And he has a gun in his hand, and he starts shooting the gun randomly, you know, like kind of like you would see um in like one of those old school western movies where when they're celebrating they shoot their guns up in the air like a bunch of times. Well, he was doing that. So he was laying down in the bed and shooting, towards the wall, but it was like upwards compared to, how he was, facing because he was laying down. And yeah, so that's pretty weird. And then and then they get off the phone, and Joey's now watching TV in the same room on the bed, and he sees a commercial that makes him laugh. It's a funny commercial, and he's like, I like that joke, and he starts shooting at the TV, like in a celebratory fashion, the same way. And yeah, that's all that I remember from the night before last night. I think it was less than usual. Normally, it takes me 10 minutes to say all this stuff, but that only took five. So, but still pretty good. Still remembered a good amount. But yeah, that's it. Peace.